A few blocks up from Ground Zero, where he now works, an exhibition of Joel Meyerowitz's earlier photography has recently opened at his daughter's gallery on Broadway. They are all images of the Manhattan skyline taken between 1981 and September the 7th, 2001.
The response has been such that people are staying longer in this exhibition than they have in the past, really taking their time to examine the photographs and look into all of the people's windows and really study the sky and study the light.
This, the last image before they fell.
It was one of those days. It was a pristine, late summer day. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to make this picture because I don't have one that's so clear and luminous, but I wish it was more interesting. I'll come back on Monday. They're always going to be there. I mean, you know, one of those things you say in your mind, they'll always be there because you couldn't conceive of them not being there.
The Ground Zero project that my father is doing right now has taken on a significance in his life personally and professionally that no other body of work that he's ever done has. He has a connection to it, a focus on it that I've never witnessed before. He does feel spiritual duty to it.
The recovery process goes on night and day, and so does Meyerowitz. As the rubble begins to diminish, so his sense of urgency increases, his desire to capture the differing shapes and colors of the pile.
I had to do this so that people in the future generations could look at this site and see the wound that was received here, the aftermath of the blow, and see what it took to repair it, what it looked like everywhere in this 16-acre site. I just felt that somebody had to have the consciousness to do it.
This incredible seahorse coming up here.
I don't think that he sees any ugliness in this world. And that's why he can see beauty, which is a difficult word, but true in Ground Zero.
There's things that have happened to me down there that were profound, even in their insignificance. You touch any person down there, they'll tell you their spiritual story. The Customs House received the top of the World Trade Center, fell through it, and collapsed the entire inside of the building. And as it fell through, it sheared off some I-beams and left a perfect cross standing in the middle of this space. This is the building where they found the cross inside. You know that cross they put out on the roadway? The guy who I always see him every day, Frank, great big guy.
God's house?
Yeah, God's house. He named it God's house.
He put it all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
he did. He's an amazing guy. He painted arrows and crosses on the floor so you could find your way into where he found it, like a pilgrimage
He wanted
thing.
to make a memorial.
Yeah.
He wanted to save the crosses. Really believed in it.
On the 28th of October, Ground Zero became the arena for a memorial service for the bereaved families.
After the service, I could hug as many firemen and policemen as I wanted to, and that's what I liked the most. And they gave me a piece of concrete and a piece of steel, which I still have, and I think I really wanted that, and that was nice.
9,000 family members came down to the site. And at the end, people were leaving, and one woman came over to a fireman. There were 6 firemen on the other side of a barricade. She handed him some flowers and asked him to put it somewhere in the pile. And he walked over and placed it here, which was just rubble. And then when he came back, somebody else had come over. And pretty soon a line of people came with tiny photographs of their loved ones or lost ones. And these guys walked with such reverence. It was the most amazing thing. They would take the picture and they would hold it in their hands and just look at it. And then walk over slowly, dirge speed, and place it there. I saw incredible resiliency and courage on the faces of all of those people who lost somebody. And I saw them in tears, but I also saw them getting up and going home, you know, like stalwart beings. They moved on, and I was touched by their courage.
Recovery has progressed with remarkable speed. Nature has provided an unlikely friend in the weather. New York has been blessed by a gentle winter. And as the pile recedes, so the significance of Meyerowitz's project intensifies, especially for those who mourn. In a matter of months, it will be the only lasting document of what happened to their loved ones.
When the day comes that a book of all these pictures are published, I will have this book. Just because I don't have a body. I didn't have a body. I don't know what happened to him. I have no piece of him left. And I think in a way these pictures, done in a way that is you know, for a historical purpose, will also, this will be something that I can someday show my children and say, I lived through this, and I came through this, and this is what happened in my life, and to this person who was just so special and wonderful, and who I loved so very much. And I'll have a record of that.
People will, I think, come back to Joel's photographs. They have a very powerful silence in them. They're very still. There's a lot about us in those photographs. There's a lot about our conceptions of what we could build, how secure we were in doing that, how secure we were as a people. There's a lot of our age in those photographs.
When I say that I'm doing this for history, I mean that the users of this work will be around after I'm gone. They'll look into these pictures because they've got some curiosity about that moment in 2001. And people can go to them and just stand on the edge of these pictures and look in. Simple as that.
The future of this 16-acre grave is still undecided.
This will be the most visited site in the world. Every tourist who comes to New York, every pilgrimage person who comes here will go down there. And I hope they make something really beautiful down there. I keep thinking that a forest of trees, of living things planted down there with a name on every single tree. To have a forest in Lower Manhattan would be such an incredible memorial.